Hey, welcome back to the Dive Podcast. My name is Joey Butch. I am the lead pastor at Grace Point Community Church, and with me is...
the media pastor here at Grace Point Church of the Nazarene, Dustin Clark.
Hello, and this is the Dive. If it's your first time with us, what we do here is we go off of the sermon from the week before, and we just dive deeper into the meaning of it, just go over a little bit. Some of it is a touch of review, and then a lot of just extra conversation that really couldn't happen organically in a Sunday morning setting, but can happen as we sit down here. And midweek, this show comes out, just a little pick me up to help you get through the week, maybe a little bit of a reminder from the week before, or where we're going after that. So the last couple weeks, we've been in a sermon series called Grow Up. Good advice for everybody.
Sure.
Just to mature. It's all about spiritual maturity. We've been just hopping around Scripture, looking at different instances where mostly so far it's been where there's been immaturity, because it's easy to learn from that. And this week we talked about the disciples arguing about their status, basically, where they're going to end up. It's in Luke chapter 22, and the message also flips over to John 13 eventually as well. Something I didn't get to talk about as much yesterday, though, was like, have you ever been in a scenario where like things are going rough for you, right? And you know they're going rough, and someone else things are going much better for, but then they come in and start complaining to you about life. You don't have to, but you know, talking about that feeling, right? Where it's like, you're going to complain about that to me right now.
I think that's what we do. And everyone who complains about any part of their life, there's somebody else that's always.
One of the easiest and quickest ways to get me out of the like complaint mindset is to think about like, hey, this could be much worse.
Yeah.
Like, like things will go wrong. My dad is good. My dad's funny. He handles small things poorly, but big things well. And so oftentimes, something big will happen and he'll be super calm, cool, and collected. He'll be like, well, at least we're healthy. Like, at least this, or if we're not healthy, he'll be, hey, at least we're together. Like, and I'm like, how you got perspective now all of a sudden, man? But he knocks the big stuff out of the park. Well, like that helps you a lot to get out of that mindset of complaining. But basically, Jesus is, I read one commentary that said he's in the shadow of the cross. So like leading up to the cross, like this is the Last Supper, right? This is the last meal they're all going to have together. And he knows what's coming. I mean, this is heavy. The shadow of the cross is on him. The weight is on him. He's crying blood, right? Or sweating blood. It's I forgot the term for.
Yeah, there's a term.
There's a medical term for that.
Leave it in the comments if you're watching.
Extra points if you leave it in the comment. And he's struggling. Just mentally, we know he's got this back and forth. We see the pray, Father, if this cup can be taken from me, then take it. But then he solidifies himself, but if it can't, then I'm ready. Like, let's do it. And there's this Last Supper, and here's two disciples arguing over, effectively, where they're going to sit. Not even just for that meal, but in eternity. Okay, God, Jesus, you're legit. We believe. We've seen everything you've been doing. We've had firsthand encounter of who you are and the miraculous things you can do. But also, which one of us is going to be more important when we get there?
Sure.
And like, how much do you agree with this statement, I guess is the question. The humanity, our capacity for selfishness has no bounds.
Sure.
Like, that's how.
But they also didn't, I don't think they even understood the weight of what was about to happen either.
There's no way, right?
Yeah, because I think I would like to think if they knew that he really was about to really die.
They saw he's been telling them for years, but I'm going to leave.
Well, they missed. I mean, even after he dies, they went out and did whatever, right? So,
so they're arguing about where they're going to end up in the hierarchy of things. Did you know about the seating chart in Jewish culture? It was the host sat at the head of the table, and then to their right. Hold on, was it to the right or to the left first?
They read right from left. So
I know. Okay, it was to the most esteemed guest was off to the right, and then the next one was off to the left, and then the second to the right was the third, and then the second on the left was the fourth, and everybody got seated in that order. A lot of times when people go to weddings, if there's already a seating chart, you feel a little bit of this. Where it's like, okay, here's the family of the bride, here's the family of the groom, then I'm down here somewhere. That's okay. But the last wedding we went to, though, we had a high table number. and they always call who goes to get the food first by the table number. So we were very happy. There's like 14 tables, and we're like number 4.
So when we do wedding photography, we just go up with the party. So we go right away.
Oh, nice. That's what I'm talking about.
And then we sit down. And then we sit down with people who haven't gone yet.
Oh, that ain't right. That ain't right. That's just rude right there.
Because we try to get our food eaten so that we can get back to photos. Yeah.
I joked about how seating charts are important for kids, especially. I don't know if you guys do this, but at our house, everybody sits in the same seat every meal.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't, even if I wanted to change my kids, I couldn't. Because they're like, this is my seat. Like,
yeah.
There's like, I couldn't even change them.
Occasionally, they want to sit in my seat. But I'm like, nah, that's my seat. But especially when we have like relatives over or their friends over, everybody wants to sit next to them. So like, it's a human concern. Sure. Hey, where are we going to fall? Because when we talk about seating, remember, we're talking about more than just for that meal seating. We're talking about where they're going to be in eternity. And,
sure.
and Jesus starts to flip everything they know on their head. He's still, even in the shadow of the cross, he's still doing ministry with them. And it says there's a dispute that pops up, right? And he talks to them about, hey, the greatest among you should be like the youngest, and the one who rules like the one who serves. And that must have been just a total new thing for them to hear. And I talked about how, Jesus is focusing in on the mission. And here's people that are all around it that should be so focused in on the mission, but they're wasting their energies, right? And that was one of the main points, was like, we have to stop just wasting our energy. We have to be careful about how we spend it, because we only have so much. And I didn't write anything political down. That just came out of nowhere on Sunday. But just like 24, are you old enough to remember when TV would stop at night? Like they would go off air?
And it would just get the red, yellow.
Yeah, they'd play. If you're old enough, and now I don't ever remember seeing this, but I've seen clips of it. They would play the national anthem at like midnight or 2 a.m, and then it would just go off.
That was it.
And they didn't play anything until 8 a.m. the next morning. There's 24-hour news, 24-hour sports, 24-hour old black and white TV show reruns. I mean, we can waste our energies on lots of stuff. You can scroll. I mean, I don't want to know what my personal record is for how long I've scrolled in one sitting.
Sure.
But it's probably embarrassing.
I know every Sunday morning you get your screen time.
Oh no, I turned that off. I don't like that notification.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I don't like seeing. I brought it up though. I was like, hey, go check your screen time. You'll see how much time you waste. And it's a challenge, because like especially if you have kids and like young kids that you're raising.
Sure.
They pick up habits that we have. I've been really trying hard the last couple months to like not be on the phone as much around them, but it's difficult sometimes.
Oh, for sure. No, I agree. Yeah, no, for sure.
But yeah, he tells people, hey, if you're gonna lead, then serve. Stop thinking about how much can I get out of this. Start thinking about what can I do in the kingdom, right? How much can you serve? Jesus is like, I'm here. and nobody else has right to that position but me, and here I am serving you guys.
I mean, we see that in church a lot, where they think that one position is higher than the other position.
Yes.
So when I pastored a church, there was a lady that she was teaching Sunday school, and then she was singing, but she also had some health issues, and so we kind of pulled her back from those two things, and we made her a greeter.
Yeah.
And she was just so frustrated and upset because she thought that she wasn't important anymore.
Like a demotion?
Yeah, like it wasn't important. And like I just try to explain to people, like, no position's like higher than the other position.
Yeah.
And honestly, at the end of the day, like, I think people need to understand that the greeter is actually one of the most important. If we wanted to like talk about what some of the most important parts of, if I was going to numberize it, the greeter would be up there,
setting the tone.
Yeah. Like, so like
recently we've had them in the parking lot.
Yeah, you're the first person that they see. If you do a bad job, then it makes everybody else do a bad job.
Yeah.
But no position is greater. Like the person who cleans the bathrooms is no greater than the person preaching. We all have a part to play in the kingdom of God, the left hand, the right hand, the walking. And so like, and yeah.
And that's true, because if someone stops cleaning the bathrooms, we'll hear about it real quick.
Yeah.
So like every part has to operate. It's just like asking you, hey, would you rather your heart fail or your brain or your lungs? It's like I'd like to keep all those going pretty well. That'd be nice.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And so it's all about serving and what we can do to serve. Because at the end of the day, it's about helping people find the kingdom of God and discipling them and loving people. Yeah.
Yep. And then I just talked about how Christ changed social norms. You know, he's there, and he doesn't do it in a way that's. And when I say rebellious, I don't mean like against the norm. What I mean is like there are times where I see, especially modern church, where churches will do things excessive, like way too close to the line or over the line
to try to get people's attention, right?
Just to shock value you, right?
Sure. That's all over social media.
I've seen pastors cracking beers in mid sermon to just
kicking
shake
the
people
Bible.
up.
That
punt. Yeah, I watched it on YouTube. Punted a Bible.
Yeah. I mean, I could name several different.
Yeah, I don't think I'm like. I'm a conservative guy, but I like to think that I can be open to something. Don't punt the scripture. Like, come on now. And all kinds of stuff. I've seen guys in small rural churches, and they'll go up and they'll just cuss a bunch, just freak people out, and be like, "Oh, I said a bad word and that freaked you out, but you guys don't care if there's this sin." And I get their point, but also you can make that point without having to be. Jesus didn't walk up in the temple and start just flipping the bird at people, and like
to get his attention.
Yeah, like did he flip some tables? Yeah, he did, but it's a different format, right?
Sure.
And so talking about how to go against social norms of like expectation of, well, I don't hang out with this person because they vote this way or because they believe in this lifestyle or they're living this lifestyle. And it's like, wait, if there's a lifestyle someone can lead that would prevent you from even presenting the gospel to them, then doesn't that say something worse about you? Like what? You might say to yourself, well, they'll never come around to it. Well, that's fine. That's not a good reason for you not to share.
Yeah, no, definitely. Unless they're like, I can understand like if they are dragging you down into their sin or like.
Oh yeah.
I can understand why you wouldn't want to hang out with somebody in that capacity.
Yeah.
If they're causing you to fail and you need to take a step back from that relationship to work on your relationship with God, or they are trying every single time you're with them, they're trying to get you to walk away from God, or they're a bad influence and you're not strong enough to say no, then please walk away. But if you're strong enough and they just have different beliefs, regardless of what they are, it doesn't mean that you can't be friends with them or talk with them. You can't break bread. Now, if they're Christian, we're all Christians and we break bread with each other. If they're not Christian, then I understand. But it doesn't mean don't have relationships.
Yeah.
Just because somebody.
And I'm even thinking of it more from like a person you don't know perspective too. Of like, there's a lot of people, we don't know them. They look a certain way.
Oh,
and
sure.
somebody might be like, can't share the gospel with them because they scare me. It's like, wait, what do you mean? Like, they could be someone that needs to hear it the most. They might have more biblical knowledge than even you do, but you don't. You're just judging them by what they look like. So service is what like Christ is talking about in all of this. Something I wrote. I don't think I got to say this line was a Christian who's unwilling to serve the least of these is not properly reflecting Christ.
Oh, sure.
So if there's a person that you can think of that you wouldn't help or wouldn't present the gospel to, then you're not being a true representation. I mean, look at who he spends his time around, right? Some pretty rough people.
Absolutely.
Right. But who needs the physician, right? The sick. So, and then something cool, Luke 22 and John 13. And this is where Jesus washes the feet of the disciples. These kind of run together. They're different books, but they run together. So I was reading one commentary the past week, and it's like, think about this. Like, while the disciples are arguing about who's the greatest, Jesus is about to wash their feet, right? And like, just to drive the message home of like, in case you didn't catch what I said, let me show you. And he starts washing their feet. And I talked about how dirty and nasty people's feet would have been back then.
Oh, back then shoes, way better.
Mud,
way worse.
Dirt in the road. Like, even if it's cobble, like, it's still dirty. I mean, look at there's a reason we take our shoes off when we walk. Yeah. Because I've often made the assessment or the statement that your shoes are gross because you never wash the bottom of your shoe. We might be cleaner people if we walked around barefoot all the time because you wash your feet.
Because you wash your feet.
Yeah. Yeah, let that one sink in for a second.
I don't know how they used to do it.
Dude.
I don't know how kids do it.
My kids will, if I don't watch them up here, I look down, boom, shoes are off. I'm like,
Yeah.
put your shoes back
It doesn't
on.
matter what. Doesn't matter. Glass, everything.
Yes.
They don't care. They just run it around.
Whatever. I was a barefoot kid.
That was the way it's supposed to. That was the way it was supposed to be, right?
Running barefoot is super healthy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'd prefer to run barefoot, like if it's in grass and stuff. I mean, on concrete, obviously it hurts. But I was a barefoot kid. I used to go out in the summer and like stand on the hot road until like you couldn't feel it. And then the rest of the summer, you're fine. Yeah. That's probably not a good thing. Don't do that. We do not recommend that you do that. But John 13, 7 through 9, this is when Jesus is washing the feet of the disciples. He gets to Peter and Peter's like, you're not washing my feet. And not because he's got an aversion to people touching his feet, which I do when I talked about that. I was like, hey, don't be touching my feet. But Peter's like, no, you're not going to lower yourself to that. Like you're Jesus. You're the Messiah. I'm not going to let you do that. And Jesus says in 7 through 9, he says, you do not realize now what I'm doing, but later you'll understand. And Peter says, no, you'll never wash my feet. And Jesus says, unless I wash you, you will have no part of me. And then Peter flips it the whole opposite way. And he's like, well, then not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well. Like just wash me through and through. And there's an example he's showing them there of think about, he's in heaven, descends in the form of a human, lives a human life, feels the cold, feels the heat, sweats, shivers, all that stuff, walks in the dirt, and now he's wiping dirt off of the feet of the people that he made out of the dirt.
Yeah, yeah.
He's wiping the dirt off the dirt.
Yeah, no.
Right?
I mean, it's a great illustration of you need to be washed in the blood of Christ.
Yes.
You know, and I think it's Ezekiel 36, 25, 24 and 25, where God says that there will come a day where I will sprinkle water, basically cleanse you, and I will put a new heart in you.
Yep.
And I think that it was symbolic of that Jesus needs to clean you.
Yep.
You know?
And then after that, he tells them, see what I've done for you. Now go and do that. So it's not about being up here. It's about being as a servant.
Now go serve, yeah.
And if you can reduce Christianity to just a couple of words, like serve has got to be in that sentence, right?
Oh, sure.
Like it's top tier, and that is bearing, dying daily to yourself is choosing to serve, because we tend to be default selfish. Default, I'm going to argue about where I end up in the hierarchy. Default, I got to eat first and everybody else can eat, right?
No, absolutely.
Whereas the example that's been let out in front of us is no. Feed first.
There's
Lord's
way
gonna
more
provide.
joy in giving
Oh.
and serving.
And that's not a cliche.
No,
It's so
not.
true.
No, it really is true. I watched I saw Dave Ramsey. He for one Christmas, instead of buying like a gift for his employees, what he did was he bought like $10 million worth of debt to this company or whatever, that all these people were in bad debt. And so he paid them all off. He paid like 2%. I think he said he paid like 2 cents on the dollar. So it came out to like 25,000 or so. I don't know, but I forget how many it was like 80 people, and he had like 10 in for their Christmas bonus.
He paid off their debts.
No. So
Wait, I thought that's what you said. I'm sorry.
yeah. So what he did for his company, he paid off some 80 people's other debts, like to a different company. Like let's say me and you don't work for Dave Ramsey, and he paid off our debts.
Yeah.
Then what he did to his employees is he said, 10, you get to call 8 people and let them know that their debt is paid off.
I was looking up his, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You let them know that their debt is paid off. And he said that the people got more, like they were crying, and there was more joy in them giving somebody else. So they were able to be that third, they call.
And he saved money on Christmas bonuses.
He probably did. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry.
That was a lot of the comments. A lot of the comments were. That was a lot of
It
the comments.
sounds like a creative way to save money on bonuses, but
That was a lot of the comments were like, I'm pretty sure they would have probably liked $5,000.
you could have both. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a joy in
serving
in serving and in giving in that way. And this is,
unselfishly.
Greater love has no one than this, than to lay their life down, give their life. And that is giving our life to each other, right? Every Sunday, we're giving a bit of our life in worship to God, but also to each other of like, hey, we're going to do this together. Every time we do something together, it's a little bit of life we give to one another. And we were made to be that way.
And we do it without expecting anything in return. And that when you serve and you give,
and I closed out with this example of like how because the whole point and crux of the message was it's the only way it works is like full surrender, right? Full surrender. If we're gonna challenge wasn't the first one. If we're gonna change how we spend our energy, challenge social norm, and then cherish his teachings, right? Then it has to start in full surrender, because the kind of turning point was our willingness to trust God is the only limiting factor to our spiritual growth. So like when we say grow up, and you say, why didn't that person grow? Like what stopped them? Why did their growth stunt right there? Because they quit.
Yep.
That is an oversimplification. There can be lots of reasons to why they got stuck where they were, but at the end of the day, it's because they stopped putting their ultimate faith in who God is, right? I know it sounds really rough, right?
Sure.
But like it's the truth. And no matter how bad it got pretty bad for Job, but he never renounces the Lord, right?
So last night I was talking to our small group, and I was talking to them, and I went around, I said, who can explain to me what sanctification means? And then I said, who can explain to me what entire sanctification means?
I stole your line, by the way, in the message.
What was it?
That when the argument's over.
Oh, I mean, it's true, but I gave another illustration. This is a great illustration too. So when I was talking about being fully surrendered, I was like, if I come over to your house and I come in, and usually people will say, make yourself at home, but it's a lie. Right? Like they don't really mean that. They don't really mean that I can just come into your house. Yeah. I can go to your bedroom. Yeah. I can check in your drawers. Yeah. I can change the color of the paint. I can move things around.
That's good.
I can take that's not what's true.
Yeah.
But when you accept Jesus Christ into your life and you allow him in to your life,
you're telling him,
you say, make yourself at home. And you know what that means? That doesn't mean to say, hey, Jesus, this room right here is fine, but don't go into that room that's locked down the hallway. Yeah. That's not okay. You could do whatever you want, but that room over there.
Don't go to the basement.
Yeah. And so when Jesus comes into your life, being fully surrendered means he can go through your CDs. He can go through your movies.
CDs
he can go through
old.
So that
he can go through your phone.
He can go through your phone. He can go through
your browser history.
He can go through everything in your life, every little detail, and he gets to allow to change it.
Yeah.
And move it. And again, and I looked at, I said, if he tells you to stop wearing Nikes, because James did a minute ago, right? So but I was just using the illustration. It's like, doesn't matter what it is. If they tell you to stop,
just do it.
Just do it. I wish I would have thought of that. That would have been great.
If he tells you to stop wearing Nikes, just do it.
That would have been amazing. But that's what it means to be that in a nutshell. When we talk about entire sanctification, fully surrendered, that's what we're kind of talking. We're sanctified, holy. That offer, we talk about Romans. We also talked about Romans chapter 12 verses 1 and 2 about renewing of your mind. Yep. And offering your body as a living sacrifice, because like a non-Christian, if you're not a believer, you can't offer your body as a living sacrifice. You have to be a believer in Jesus Christ, and that's because you're dead prior to Christianity.
You don't have anything
to Christ. You're
dead.
So the moment that happens, so then once you do that, now I need to offer my body as a living sacrifice, because if I do that, I will allow God to continually transform my mind. And if you do that in every area of your life.
And the continuing part is why it's a lifelong process.
Yes.
So like there'll be new things that you have to give over to him, and there'll be old things that try to come back that you have to continually give over. Right.
Yeah. And it doesn't, being entire sanctified, again, it's a bad term, or fully surrendered, or entire sanctified is kind of a bad, because you just assume that you get it all at once. Where sanctification, until glorification, the sanctification process is all the time. Yeah. But we believe in a second work of grace, where it's the first work of grace is, God, I'm sorry for my sins. I need to be forgiven, justified. The sanctification process starts, and then the second work of grace is, all right, God, I am ready to fully surrender every area of my life now. To offer my body that living sacrifice. And And when things come up, I will be quicker
Yeah.
to say yes. So the babe in Christ usually is going to fail like almost every time.
Yeah.
Is just going to. But then when that person grows up and gets fully surrendered, they're eating on steak and they're, you know, and so forth.
There are things now that, 15 years ago I would have fallen to probably, that now it's not even a temptation anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
There's also things that I still have to fight against because they have kind of everybody's got something that has like a quick route to their temptation, right? But understanding those things and knowing how to protect yourself from them or better protect yourself.
But I would say like the things that easily can trip us up, whatever that is, early on, we fall, we just fail, right?
They're getting you all the time.
So when you fully surrender to God, when those things come up, you're quicker to be like, okay, I'm an adult now. I'm grown up. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, and if you do end up messing up, then it's like you're really quick, but it's not like you mess up and then the next day you mess up and the next day you mess up and the next day you mess up. It could be like 1 month and a couple of years later. I think there's a way bigger gap.
Yeah, we talked about raising your floor.
Yeah. And so, but then, I don't know. That debate is over thing. I don't know. That was an epiphany for me, but
that's a great one.
Because I'm telling you, like, if you think about entire sanctification, I told my small group this. I said, this week or whenever, and you're out and about, and you start justifying,
stop.
I'm telling you, like, that if you start thinking that way, you're gonna be like, wait a second, I am trying to get my way for this.
Yep.
Okay. Clearly,
I'm trying to manipulate God.
Yeah. There's like, once that light bulb goes off, you're like, okay, if I want to be fully surrendered to God, I'm just going to do it his way.
Yep.
I'm not going to argue about it. I'm not going to debate it.
And that's when we stop hitting the brakes on our spiritual growth. So I talked about like helping teaching Otto how to ride a bike. He moved from a balance bike to a regular bike with pedals. By the way, don't use training wheels for your kids.
Yeah,
get a balance bike.
That's what Laura always tells me.
Dude, it's amazing how quickly he switched over. But he's the first one we did a balance bike with. Awesome. But I was talking about how like to start with him, like I'd give him a push and like walk next to him and like have my hand on his back. And if I let go, he would panic. He'd freak out and like immediately want to put his feet down.
Sure.
But after like 10 minutes of that, he's good. He's riding his bike, and I'm letting him go a little bit further and all that. And if I give him a hard push, he'll make it all the way to my mom and dad's house, which is like 600 feet down this blacktop driveway, right? The only way he doesn't make it is if he decides to stop. He'll hit the brakes. And the other day I was out there, I pushed him and he hit the brakes and I yelled, "Why did you stop?" And the Lord just smacked me in the face with it. And he's like, "Man,
why
that's
did
how
you
I
stop."
Exactly. He's like, "Why does anyone stop?" Like, and I'm thinking, "Oh my goodness, this has got to go in the message for this week." And the only thing, like, we wonder, like, why did I stop growing? Why don't I feel like God's there as much? And I would argue, don't base it on your feelings as much, but like, seems like this, seems like that. And it's like, okay, have you hit the brakes? Because it's more likely that you have.
Have you stopped your spiritual disciplines?
Yep.
Have you stopped following and obeying?
Yep. So why did you stop? Why did you hit the brakes? Why did you stop reading regularly? Why did you stop praying? Why did you stop consulting with other Christians? Why did you stop telling other people about, Jesus? Why did you stop? And that's a question I don't want to hear from God, right? Hey, I know you're dissatisfied right now, but why did you stop?
But I think, I just thought about this but even if you're doing everything right and you still feel that way, I think we just need to be reminded that sometimes you can just be like, you just have to be still and know that God is God. And if you're doing everything right, just keep doing everything right. Yeah. Even if you don't feel like God's like doing some kind of miracle in your life, or you don't feel like you're doing, like, the enemy wants to be like, use your feelings against you almost.
All the time.
So if you are out there and you're man, I'm doing everything right. I'm reading my Bible. Yeah. I'm praying. I just don't feel like, sometimes you just know that God is God and be still, because times come and go. Like, your emotions are going to trick you. They're going to make you feel better than what you really are. And they're going to make you feel worse than what you really are.
Yep.
And so, just continually we talked about spiritual disciplines. If you're doing those things right, then
stick to it.
You really have nothing like,
in the immortal words of Journey, don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing. And so, that's good. No, that's good.
No, but a lot of times people walk away from faith sometimes if the results aren't coming back the way they want them.
Yeah.
There's never been a guarantee Well, the only guarantee is that the final result will go. And that's, by the way, that's the most important one.
Sure.
Like that is the prime one.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that if you're looking for a immediate result or results, I think you're missing the point of.
And oftentimes, I feel like the Lord will show more immediate results to new, younger Christians to help them a little bit. But as you get more mature in your walk, sometimes there's just a dry spell.
Because I think people. Like we think that it's immediate. We look for results when sometimes it's just about walking in the pasture.
Yeah. Can you be?
It's just about
obedience.
Enjoying the scene.
Yeah.
It's about like, man, you know what? Nothing's like really, nothing like amazing miracles are happening, but also no like bad things are happening.
Yeah. The best motorcycle rides. It usually doesn't matter where you go. It's taking in the way there and the way like you could ride to not. We'll ride to gas stations and convenience stores, and it's like those aren't really destinations.
Sure.
But the road there and looking around and taking it in and the experience like that, yeah.
I think just spiritual, just doing doing spiritual disciplines and being obedient to Christ in all of the areas of your life, and surrendering the areas that you need to be surrendered.
Yeah.
And just don't fall into sin. I mean, sin is what's separating you from God.
Yeah.
So if you're doing your spiritual disciplines and you're doing your best to live above willful sin, like I have to believe that you'll be fine. Even when trials, and that's what I was trying to tell him. It's like there's going to be ups and downs. So it's like when you're on the high is great, but if you're doing your spiritual disciplines, when the lows come, like you're still going to find joy in all of those things. And like God, what are you trying to teach me? What are you trying for me to learn in this opportunity? Yep. And I understand that some trials are a lot harder than other trials.
Yes.
And, and I pray for, I always joke around. I always say like, God teach me everything. Just don't use my family to teach it to me.
Yes. Don't use my family to teach it to me.
And so,
no, that's true though. That's
yeah. And so like, cause like And so,
So this week, change how you spend your energy, challenge social norms, and cherish his teachings. Get out of his way and let God grow you.
Yeah. Be fully surrendered.
There we go.
See you
Have a good week.